navigation skill.
And it goes like this, goes like this, goes.
A brave man takes the road less traveled. A true adventurer makes a road where none exists. The Dakar Rally, only on Supersport. Proudly sponsored by Total Quartz Lubricants.
Most difficult day of week one on the Euro-Miloš Dakar, and indeed it was. A very difficult stage for the bikers, many falls for the privateers, but also some of the big guns. It was to be a real test for the very ambitious Volkswagen team. Were they going to be able to compete with the Mitsubishis? And let's look back at yesterday's stage, and another glorious moment for Vladimir Chagin. It just looks like a walk in the park for the Russian, four-time Dakar winner. He captured a sixth consecutive victory. What a triumphant run it was for the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Vladimir. 36 years of age and time to party. A slightly different day for another Russian crew, car number 343.
What's happened? Kamaz passed us where I was not ready. We step aside in grass. So go very fast, but will not be ready that the car will be from the back. Left side and the stone.
So a slight upset for the Russian crew. Serious mechanical problems on a front wheel.
Kamaz, also Russian.
To finish the Dakar, one has to be patient, and Ivanov is learning it the hard way. Meanwhile, the other trucks carried on impressing. Always spectacular to see these big machines in the Mauritanian deserts. Still waiting for Ivanov and his co-driver.
You see, look.
And good old Andre showing his car. Says the Dakar is a challenge for those who go, a dream for those who stay behind. Indeed, it is. Well, lots of learning as well for all the competitors. And learning is what Fritz Hessing needs to do.
Okay,
and that's why he chose experienced co-driver Matthew Stevenson.
Left.
I can make it.
No, you can't.
Okay. Where I go?
I've told you what to do. I told you to turn left.
Yeah, but I told you that.
I was talking you through the
I need
dunes.
to go up here?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Okay. What you're going to do is just please listen. We was working perfect then.
He went okay. For my feeling, he went okay. And we decided that if I make the decision, I go that direction, I go.
Okay, right. I'll shut up then.
No.
I'll shut up. No, Fritz. It was working perfect.
No.
I said go left and you turned right.
Don't speak louder. We discussed that you say...
Okay, I'll shut up now.
Why?
Because it was working perfect there. I've been in dunes. I grew up in Dubai in this shit. I've known this all my life.
Then we shouldn't agree that if I make the decision that I go that direction, I go that direction.
Right, okay, I'm not going to say anything.
Very interesting teamwork indeed between Stevenson and Hessing. And here's another Dakar lesson, how to get your car out when it's stuck in the sand with Mr. Koen Botus of Belgium. Is this the first time of the day you're stuck in the dunes? Well, yes, I wasn't focused. But it's not the car's fault, it's mine. Koen Wouters, a very popular singer back home in Belgium, eventually made it to Zouerat well before the sun had set. And alongside his co-driver, the crew finished in the top 50 positions of the day's special. Today, the first real big sand stage, heading from Zouerat to Attar. Almost no liaison and a long and demanding 499-kilometer course. The first major difficulty of this first week. Navigation and dunes all the way to the first CP, then faster tracks before more dunes. Shovels will come in handy. So to the bike race, and unlike the previous stages and editions, the bikers were to take off in the reverse order of the previous special. In other words, the latecomers would take off first and the big guns last. More sleep for the favourites, less for the privateers. Cyril de Prey, with a heavily strapped shoulder prepared for a long and certainly painful day, he crashed yesterday and dislocated his collarbone. His only ambition was to make it safely to the finish. So the last man to start was yesterday's winner, Carlo de Gavado, and as expected, the official team riders and best privateers were to rapidly catch up with the newcomers and the less experienced. Magnificent scenery, lots of sand and dust. And Mark Comer was rapidly to catch up the privateers and head to CP1. Here's Andy Caldecott, the Australian, winner of a stage already in this Dakar 2006. Isidre Esteve catching up with Cyril de Prey, his KTM Gaulois teammate. De Prey taking it easy today. Just imagine riding a bike on the Dakar with a dislocated collarbone. And De Prey could count on the help of his support rider, Michel Gau. At the first refueling point at CP1, kilometer 209, Jonas Street was surprised to be the first. Unusual for the US privateer.
The course is bumpy enough that we don't get pulled away from on the flat, fast stuff, so I'm able to hang with these guys. And David got by me. Well, we were still pretty close to the start, so I just followed him because I'm first in the car and I have no idea what I'm doing leading.
The day special was, of course, full of sand and dunes, but also fast stretches. Quite a few riders suffered falls. Andy Grider, a newcomer on the Dakar, was forced to withdraw from the race after a serious crash. The same went for Gerard Farasgel, who'd been riding with Mark Comer, and was one of the many to go down. And the same went for Rodrigo Amaral. Portuguese, slightly injured. And the falls also concerns the bigger bikers. David Casteux just avoiding going over the bike there. The KTM Gauloise rider. David Trétignier was one of the many to suffer a crash. He made it to the finish line in pain, but still made it. Bruised and battered Yamaha 450cc. And tough moments for the Frenchman, winner of 3 specials yesterday. Well, again today, Carlo de Gavado proved to be the fastest to the finish line. The rider from Chile took advantage of his starting position last and captured his 2nd consecutive win, the 6th of his career. Winner for the first special in 2001, becoming the first South American to win a Dakar stage. Another glorious moment for de Gavado. And it was to be an excellent day for his KTM Repsol team. His teammates, Mark Coma, the overall leader of the event. He finished 1 minute and 27 seconds adrift. Now has a 4 minute 13 advantage on teammates de Gavado in the overall standings. Well, the team managed by Jordi Arcarons managed the treble thanks to Giovanni Sala, the experienced Italian, always precious to have in a team. Sala lost 2 minutes on the day and moved up to 5th spot overall. So the results of the day, Carlo de Gavado winning the stage ahead of Coma. Depre on the day lost over 30 minutes. The overall standings with Mark Coma in the lead with a 4 minute 30 second advantage on de Gavado. Esteve is 3rd over 7 minutes adrift. Well, I was very motivated, explains de Gavado. I passed all the top riders and knew I was very close to Mark Coma, so I tried to get slower. Unfortunately, I paid this ambition on a dune. I fell down, or almost flying off the bike, but it wasn't too bad. I got quite a lot of pain, and this made me feel nervous. A very difficult day, explains Mark Coma. Very difficult navigation, a lot of camel grass. Very difficult, very tiring. I had problems with my moose in the last 40-50 Ks. But the important thing is to be here without losing time. Today we got a real Dakar stage, a true Dakar stage. Well, at refueling, I started 6 minutes behind Coma, but I didn't push too hard because I didn't want to be faster than Coma. Just preferred to start behind him tomorrow and achieve a good stage just before rest day. And indeed today the stage was starting in the reverse order. So if tomorrow I do a good stage, the following stage I'll start behind. A lot of dunes, explains Depre, a lot of camel grass, a lot of shocks, a tough day, but nothing impossible. Other riders in the past performed in my health condition, Magnaldi, De Petri. It's tough, but I have to fight. And let's focus on the BMW X-Ray team and try to understand the work of the assistants after a Dakar stage. When the day's over for the drivers and co-drivers, it only really starts for the mechanics, even if the cars seem undamaged. Ben Quant, the team manager, explains that, well, usually all the cars are checked. There's a checklist. We've got all the points which are checked, and then we note down everything. If everything's been done and what has to be replaced, then the mechanics take all they need from the assistance truck. And the standard check is check the engine oil, the gearbox oil, the suspensions. Well, work well organized, 3 mechanics per car, a chief mechanic and 2 other mechanics in the team, also some engineers for the electrical and the shock absorbers. Well, we have some small information explains this mechanic from some people who are at the end of the stage when the car has a big problem. Drivers can call us to tell us. There are no big problems. Well, it's just normal work. And normal work on the car lasts 3 to 4 hours each day. In fact, it looks like the day or night is never really over for them. We have one crew for each car, but when this crew has finished their own car, if the other crews need help, well, we go to help them. Real teamwork in the BMW X-Ray team. The car race and a day in reds. The reds of the Mitsubishi team. They'd probably planned to hit hard for this toughest stage of the Dakar so far. And that's exactly what they did. Thumbs up to title holder Stéphane Péterancel and his runner-up last year, Luc Alphand. Peter Hansel, who was the fastest on the finish line, 4 minutes 23 seconds ahead of his teammates. And victory number 50 for the Frenchman. Just as many successes as Dakar legend Ari Vatanen. Only Peter did it in both the bike and the car class. 33 wins on a bike, 17 on 4 wheels. Peter Hansel spent most of the day ahead of Luc Alphand, the runner-up last year. And the Frenchman admitted that he had stayed stuck in the sand 4 times. While Peter Hansel suffered a puncture, just shows how impressive his performance was on the day. The Mitsubishi train heading to the finish line, and a glorious moment for them. Hiroshi Masuoka's crash a few days ago is forgotten. They prepared for this one. And they are now first and second overall. Luc Alphand, the new overall leader, with a 3 minute 12-second lead on his teammates. And the winner of the 2 previous editions, Stéphane Péterancel. A bumpy day for Peter Hansel and Alphand. Stuck in the sand, but eventually storming to the finish line. And this is one of the punctures that the Mitsubishi team suffered. A puncture for the title holder. Nani Roma, meanwhile, also punctured and was stuck in the sand, losing precious time on all the favourites. Jutta Kleinschmidt finished 3rd on the day, and she suffered the most punctures, 3, and still crossed the finish line, only losing 11 minutes and 49 seconds. Janil De Villiers was one of the many to get lost at the start. He lost over 16 minutes today, and his overall lead to Luc Alphand. A bad day for the Schlesser team, Jean-Louis Schlesser and Thierry Magnaldi. Magnaldi, who had fuel problems between his 2 tanks and the connections. And for Carlos Sainz, it was a real nightmare. He got stuck in the sands alongside his co-driver Andreas Schultz, and the Spaniard broke his power assistance steering. He had to cope with that for the last 80 kilometers. Eventually making it to the finish line exhausted. Sainz lost 34 minutes and 44 seconds on the day's winner. So Carlos Sainz still learning. A terrible day as well for Bruno Sabi, a Dakar winner in the 90s. He suffered serious mechanical problems and was still waiting for assistance. We have gasoline problems, we're losing gasoline, problem with the injection as well. So Bruno Sabi still stuck in the desert and waiting for his assistance vehicle. A bad day for Mark Miller. He seriously crashed the Volkswagen Racewag on its roof. No injuries, however. For Nasser Al-Attiyah, it went better. A good position on the finish line, but he was given a 10-hour penalty, missing out on all the waypoints. And this is Carlos Sousa, the Portuguese driver. We're driving in sixth gear, he explains, around 130 kilometers an hour. Behind we have a Volkswagen who is trying to catch up with us. And that's the main problem. The new cars are very, very fast. It's difficult for us to compete. Well, Sousa eventually finished 10th, losing 1 hour and 36 minutes. This is Eric Vigouroux in his Chevy Pro Truck. Very difficult day for him and for a lot of the other privateers. Freddie Larks driving alongside Eric Veroff, former biker. Thailand's man Porn Siriched, stuck on the top of the dune. Paolo Marquez using one of the most precious items today, the shovel. And Alfie Cox still learning. It's his first Dakar on 4 wheels. The man who finished on the podium of the bike race a few years ago. Bad day as well for Rick Amashi. How is he going to get out of that one? Well, Sainz eventually made it to the finish line. And look at his hands. Blistered, no steering assistance. So victory number 50 for Stéphane Péterancel with a 4-minute advantage on Luc Alphand. Kleinschmidt is 11 minutes adrift. Al-Attiyah 5th, but he got a time penalty. In the overall standings, 2 Mitsubishis in the 2 first spots. Alphand ahead of Peter Hansel. Kleinschmidt is on the podium so far. Well, first difficult stage, explains Peter Hansel, a lot of navigation, a lot of very soft dunes, some camel grass, a Mauritanian cocktail, as we're used to. Wasn't easy. We didn't do the perfect stage because we got a puncture and we were stuck on a dune, so we had to deflate our tires, and not perfect stage for us. We were a bit surprised, explains Alphand, by the last dunes. We thought it would be easier. We got stuck 4 times in the same spot. Stéphane Péterancel was stuck later on. But we did a good stage today. We put the pressure on the Volkswagen team. Physically, nothing too bad. Nothing too bad. Well, it was very hard, explains Kleinschmidt. Many soft dunes. We lost a lot of time because of 3 punctures. After that, we were without spare tires, so we had to take it easy, drive carefully. But I'm confident for the next days because the gap with the Mitsubishi is not that big.
The biggest thing for us, we were so badly lost this morning, and you know, with a new navigational system, if you are lost, it is so difficult to find your way, and I don't know if it's completely the correct thing, but it definitely made it very interesting.
And let's take a look at the truck race now. And after winning the first 6 specials, a very bad day for Vladimir Chagin, stuck in the dunes. He lost over 1 hour with his Kamaz truck stuck. Fidaus Kabirov had to settle for 2nd position, finishing in 8 hours, 27 minutes and 34 seconds. Kabirov second overall, earning 1 hour on his teammates, Vladimir Chagin. Here's Klaas Bowley, finding it hard to get his big machine over the dunes. And that was the case for all the trucks. Germany's Franz Eckter finished in the top 5 yesterday. Taking it nice and easily. So a bad day for Vladimir Chagin. He lost 1 hour on the day and was heading for the finish line. Victory eventually went to Hans Stacy ahead of Kabirov. Well, tomorrow the competitors will have to cover another tough stage before a well-deserved rest day in Nouakchott, short liaison, and then we head west to the Mauritanian capital. Bikers and riders will have to cope with the first special of over 500 kilometers. Lots of sand to be enjoyed, and another day when the overall standing could seriously change. A fine day indeed it was for the Mitsubishi team. Peter Hansel winning ahead of Alphon. That's it from the Dakar. We'll see you tomorrow for more drama from the dunes.